Hello and welcome to Edfu Temple, one of the most interesting and best preserved temples here in Upper Egypt. If you wonder where it is, it's actually in a town called Edfu. Um, I'm on a cruise at the moment, and this is one of our stops, and I've literally got not very long before the ship leaves, or the cruise leaves. So let's have a walk around and explore this place. I'll try and explain things as we go around. And as always, guys, have a look around, and if there's something you want to look at, pause the video and then you can still kind of spin around and look around. Okay, so as you can see here, this temple is dedicated to the god Horus. But Horus of Edfu is a different, there's more than one Horus. Apparently there's 3 different Horuses in ancient Egypt. And it's quite interesting, this place. It was actually full of people at one point, and a French preservist came along and basically brought all these people out of their homes, knocked down their houses. You can see here just behind me, it was those kind of style of houses. And they're literally full, it's all inside a temple, and he literally just kicked them all out, put a fence all around this place, and started clearing out to restore it. Now, as far as I understand, excuse me, this air is very dry. The temple is very much original. Obviously, there is some restoration that I can see, but it's not like over the top. It's not like Hatshepsut. So look at the height of that. I believe it's 35 meters high, the initial gates. So let's go in and explore the temple as we go through. It's quite busy today. Okay, so we're now in the first part of the temple as you walk in. However, you've got to bear in mind that this temples were built in reverse. So the most inner part was the first part to be built, and this is kind of the last part to be built. This was built over several reigns, and it was built during the Ptolemaic period, which is basically the Greeks. However, there is a older temple, and there are parts of it that are exposed just outside the wall, which was from the days of King Josar, who built the step pyramid of Saqqara. So it's kind of a temple on a temple, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in here, and it's almost too much stuff to explain during this video and the time that I actually have to film this, because my guide, as good as he was, he did go on quite a lot, and he hasn't given me a lot of time to kind of take you around, guys, and explain to you in too much detail some of the stuff that's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around this. You can have a look at the walls here, and I'll very, very quickly explain to you as I'm walking around without bumping into too many tour groups. So this area here is a public area. So you can come in here to worship as a common man. I'm just going to walk around in one loop. Again, guys, if you want to have a look at anything on these walls, do feel free to pause the video and just look around, okay? There are 32 pillars here, and they basically represent different Egyptian towns at the time. Some of them, you'll notice at the top, are represented by the lotus flower. Some of them are represented by the papyrus flower. And that is to represent the difference between towns in Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. And you see over here, this, I'm going to walk up to him now, this big statue of Horus. This is one of the best and largest preserved statues of this particular god in all of Egypt, made of granite. You can see everyone's loving having the photos taken over with him there. Right, so we're now in the second part. This is not for the common man, this area, as in back then. Obviously, I'm a common man, I'm in here now. But at the time, this was kind of reserved for the priests. And this was a purification area. This is where the king would come down during certain times of the year for a ritual, where he would have his purification process, where he would basically use water, perfumes, nitrous salt, clean his body before going down to have a chat with the god. Have a quick walk around, guys, so you can have a look. There's quite a lot of people here, though, so I'm just going to raise the camera up for you.
Alors, ils ont commencé à chauffer. C'est pour ça qu'ils mettaient du feu de l'huile. C'est pour ça que le plafond il a noirci. Parce que
the room has 12 columns in it. In fact, sorry, just before we go, this little room here is actually where he did his purification. There's actually, it's too dark to show you, but there are inscriptions in there showing the purification process of how he used the water and the perfumes and stuff to get himself nice and tidy. There's 12 columns in this room, representing 12 months of the year. Right, so we're in the next part. It's a bit darker in here again, I hope you guys can see okay. I'm going to raise the camera up and can't talk too much in here because there's just too many people, right? So have a look at the walls. Okay, the next section is the offerings area.
tenían que subir por eso. Una barca dentro del santuario.
Here, lots of different languages being spoken. So this area here is quite interesting, guys, because this is where they bring all the offerings, so all the food and stuff they bring here. However, they weren't allowed to bring catfish, apparently, because they saw it as being an evil animal. There are two spiral staircases that take you up onto the roof. Sorry, one is a spiral staircase, and on the other side, just over here, it's a straight staircase. And the reason for that is because they, obviously, like I said to you, this here represents God Horus, right? So they noticed that when the falcon flies up, he goes up in a circle, and then when he comes down in a straight line. So these stairs represent taking them up, because they used to take this golden statue of him up to the roof and put it up there at certain times of the year as part of this ritual, and then bring him back down again. So again, attention to detail. You gotta love the ancient Egyptians. They don't mess around when it comes to the details.
Aquí tenemos el santuario, lo que se ve ahí dentro. Esta barca que se ve dentro no es la original.
Can't get people to move out of the way. Okay. So these areas here were basically the holy of the holiest. Only really the king could come up here to come and conduct his worshipping ceremony. I'm just coming not into this room here. I mean, where those people are standing over there. I'll just come in so I can talk to you guys, so you can hear me. There's too many people shouting in there. And the ceiling is lower, and the floor is higher than the rest of the temple. And if you imagine kind of like a cone shape, that's how the temples are designed. So they're kind of beaming out the energy or the prayers out towards the people at the front, the common people. So the king will come in here, do his prayers, do his all this kind of stuff, and beam out down the temple. Alright, so that's just a very, very quick walk around Edfu Temple. I hope you guys enjoyed this very, very quick and brief VR tour. It's somewhere that you should definitely come, but the thing I'm a bit disappointed with is, you know, we've only had kind of 2 hours, less even than 2 hours, to explore this place. It's one of the largest and best preserved temples here in ancient Egypt. And I honestly, for me personally, I could have spent, I don't know, a good half day here, just going through all this stuff and having a look at it properly, instead of rushing through and having to rush my guide as well, because I was like, dude, I'm loving all the explanation and I have so much stuff I want to ask and find out about, etc. But at the same time, I'm tight for time. So I had to hurry him up to give me time to do this. It's a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. Oh my god, look at the amount of people there at the gate. What's going on? Well guys, so there you go. Edfu Temple. I hope you enjoyed it. And until the next location, see you then.